You are watching NovaNow.tv, independent community media for Northern Virginia.
And this is your Community Connection.
And I got a big smile on my face because why? Well, lasagna. That's why. Well, who doesn't love a killer lasagna? Myself, yes, I am smiling, and I am smiling big. If you haven't deduced, my name is Atero, and I am Sicilian by lineage. I got some Greek and Turkish in me too. So it's in my genes. I love food. I love to eat. And you know, one of the coolest places that I have found since moving to Nova is this wonderful little Italian store right up the street in Vienna. And I go in there, I talk food with my paisans, and I buy all kinds of good vittles. Probably spend more than I should, but you know, you pay for the quality stuff. So anyway, the long and the short of it is, what does that have to do with lasagna and what we're going to be talking about today on Community Connections? Well, I joined the Vienna Foodies Facebook group. Yes, and I'm so excited about it, getting to talk with other folks that love to cook and love to serve and love to help other people who may not be so blessed with culinary talents, or maybe they don't have the economic means to be able to, take part in such culinary wonderment and adventures. So I put the call out there for some interviews here on NovaNow.tv for my new Community Connections segment. And lo and behold, we got responses. Good day, NovaNow.tv. My name is Sam Atero. This is our new Community Connections segment where we feature folks that are moving and shaking and making news and doing good things here in Nova. Today, we are going to be talking about lasagna, specifically Lasagna Love, specifically Eileen Scherzinger, who here in Vienna is a representative for Lasagna Love, which is a national organization that makes wonderful homemade food and distributes it directly to folks in need. And Eileen has agreed to come on our first episode of Community Connections to tell us about Lasagna Love, her love of cooking and her love of serving community. Eileen, thank you so much, number one, for being our first guest on Community Connections, and for number two, what you're doing to serve the people of Nova. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. As you can see, I'm getting inspired. I have another interview at 4:30, and I think between now and then I may have to make some lasagna or something. You've inspired me. I gotta go visit my paisans and buy some stuff though. I'm out. It's been a while.
Well, we're here to help with that.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about Lasagna Love. Of course, it's about sharing food, quality, homemade food, but specifically for people that are in need. Tell us a little bit about your organization and what you do.
Right. So what I do is, first of all, I am a regional leader. I am a volunteer who helps coordinate, do outreach, and actually cooks lasagnas for families. So the way we started, it was a little over a year ago. There was a woman named Rhiannon Men who, kind of just a grassroots thing, decided that she wanted to help during COVID, help other families. So she cooked 7 lasagnas, posted it on Facebook, and asked for other moms who might need some help. And they were quickly grabbed up. So she did it again the following week, and soon her friends started asking, how they could help and get involved. And it just kept spreading. So about a year ago, I had heard about Lasagna Love. I don't even remember how or where, but I heard the name and I Googled it. And I said, this is perfect, because I was stuck at home during COVID, working, but very fortunate to have a job, have my health, have a roof over my head, never had to worry about food. But I saw all around me, there were so many families really going through some rough times. So I signed up to be a volunteer, and within 24 hours, I ended up not only being a volunteer to cook, I did the I signed up to actually be a leader and help find families. So from that, I was the first leader in Northern Virginia, and we had very few families and very few volunteers. Now we have hundreds of volunteers in Northern Virginia who are willing to cook. And what our mission is, we are here to feed families, we're here to spread kindness and strengthen communities. So when we talk about need, it's not only a food insecurity thing, although that is probably primarily what we do. Need can be in many forms. It could be emotional, it could be just a mom who needs a break for a night. We're reaching out to teachers who've had a really rough year and going back to school in person. Seniors who are really isolated and lonely, anything.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Now, is it specific? I mean, obviously, the name is Lasagna Love, so you love to wow 'em with lasagna. Do you actually talk with the folks that contact you and say, "Would you like a seafood Alfredo lasagna? Would you like a veggie lasagna? How about one loaded with the meat, like the capicola and the sweet and the hot Italian sausage, and maybe a layer of pepperoni on top, the pizza lasagna"? Do you take special orders too?
So we do accommodate a lot of special requests.
I told you, I'm excited about this.
I can tell. I can really tell. And so we have some very creative, we call them lasagna chefs. We are not a restaurant service, so to speak,
of
but
course.
we do but when
Yeah, but you're not going to send that
request,
mega meat lasagna to a vegetarian either.
Absolutely not. So we have a form that the families that are requesting fill out. We ask them some very basic information. We try not to get into their personal lives or too much information, but we do ask how many people are in their family, how many kids, how many adults, and then any special dietary allergies or restrictions. So we do get plenty of requests for vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, extra meat, no tomatoes, with tomatoes. So our chefs, when they reach out to the family, they ask, about those things just to confirm, but then some chefs will always offer a lasagna, but some chefs will say, "Hey, but maybe this week I'm doing barbecue. Would you like that instead?" So we do get creative and we do offer alternatives.
A barbecue lasagna? Is that what you said?
Not necessarily lasagna. Cook other meals.
Oh, that you cook other foods besides lasagna. Yes. I got you. That's awesome. Now, you had said hundreds of people now volunteering to cook. That is incredible. Now, what about the logistics behind this? Because some of the folks might be asking, saying, "Well, I mean, we know the health department is a real stickler with food that is created and distributed to the public. So commercial kitchens versus home kitchens, regulations, all that stuff. Assurances of safety. Can you speak to that?"
Mm-hmm. Sure. So we are home based. Their individual chefs are cooking out of their home. So with that, we have them read and review some food safety requirements. We also have the recipient sign a waiver that they're acknowledging that these are meals coming from a home-based kitchen. But with that being said, we really do make sure our cooks are very, up on food safety and, don't cook if they're feeling sick. And then we also do everything contact-free. So logistics, cool. A family will request. I will then get the request through a system that we have, a national system that, by the way, my husband designed as a volunteer. So we're a Lasagna Love family. And then the requests come in. I match families once a week with a volunteer who can meet all those requirements, who live nearby. So it's all about the neighborliness, connecting with a local neighbor. Then the volunteer will then text the family or call them to set up a convenient time that works out for both the family and the volunteer. And then they set up a time to deliver it. They could get it hot. They could get it ready to eat. There are families without ovens or working ovens. Or some families really like the whole idea of having a lasagna baking in their oven and smelling how delicious it is.
Absolutely.
And
that's part of the experience, definitely.
Yeah. So we offer all of those options. We can bring, if it's a big family, we bring extra. If it's a smaller family, we may do a couple of smaller lasagnas.
Gotcha.
So,
and I want to remind people, you know what? We all sometimes get dealt difficult times in our lives, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. I think this is really one of the coolest examples of a simple love thy neighbor act, and folks, sometimes you just gotta swallow that sense of pride, or it's difficult to ask for help if you need it. And one of the things that Eileen stressed to me when we did our pre-show interview was to really touch on that and to encourage folks to call and talk with a human being about the need that you have, because everybody's at a different place in their life for different reasons. And, if nothing else, maybe you end up making a good friend, and maybe you want to actually get involved and help others. But, this is our personal message here at novanow.tv to you. If you're listening and you have a need, don't be embarrassed to call and contact Eileen here in Northern Virginia at Lasagna Love, and she'll hook you up with somebody that'll help you fill that need. And if you feel the tug and you feel the need to want to help others, please reach out and let them know that you saw this story on novanow.tv. So, Eileen, tell us what message you would have for individuals that may be a little bit hesitant to call. And then let's follow up, wrap this up with how do they get hold of you?
okay. So what we do is we don't even have you call, so there's no direct contact. For those that are a little bit embarrassed or shy, we have a website, lasagnalove.org. And you can either request a meal, you can nominate a family. If you know somebody who's having a rough time, you just put in their contact info, and then we follow up with an email or text to tell them that they've been nominated, and then they can request the meal themselves. Or you can volunteer all through that same website. And the biggest thing, as was mentioned, is, not to be shy, to raise your hand, ask for help. We never judge anybody for any reason what the request is. So we are very discreet. We keep all the contact information confidential, and you can request a meal every 28 days. So if you feel the need is still there, we're here to help, and we really want to help.
I think that's beautiful. And my apologies, I said you would talk with somebody, but indeed you would end up chatting with a representative.
Right,
so
right.
There you go. And, well, tell us about the website. You said you have a full website for the and you are 501c3 now, right? You are a not-for-profit. And one of the things that I had asked you, is this funded, or is this funded by the volunteers? Like, where do you get the ingredients? And if those that are watching want to get involved and become a cook and help volunteer, where do they get the goodies to make up the meals?
Right. So all of our volunteers are self-funded, self-supported. We, like I said, this is pretty much, it started out grassroots, and even though we're bigger now, we're actually not just national, we're international. We've expanded to Canada, to the UK, and to Australia, believe it or not. But the volunteers, they pay for the ingredients, they shop, they cook, and they deliver. So each match is handled from start to finish by the individual volunteer. As a regional leader, I do get generous offers of people donating either funds or supplies directly to me in my community, and I put up an Amazon wish list, and then I take those supplies and I distribute them to my 150 plus volunteers that I work with.
That's amazing. And how do folks get hold of you? We'll put a link in the show description.
Okay, so we have the lasagnalove.org website, or directly to me would be lasagna@scherzinger.org.
Lasagna@scherzinger.org. Okay, we'll put those graphics in underneath your picture here. Eileen, thank you so much for what you're doing to serve our community and bring a little bit of light and wonderful home-cooked meals to the folks in need here in Nova. I think this is a beautiful story, and I'm honored and glad to be able to share this and to have somebody on that's doing such a wonderful thing for our community for our first episode of Community Connections. So thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. There you go, folks. Lasagna Love right here on novanow.tv. This has been your community connection. I am Sam Otero, and I would encourage anybody out there doing good in the community. You want to come on, you want to talk about the art scene, you want to talk about live music in Nova. I got some musicians that are going to be coming on. Later today, I'm recording an interview. This is a really cool, inspiring story. 3 generations of women all in business together, and we're going to have them all on the show at the same time and talk with them about their book that is being published between mother and daughter, and another mother and daughter in the trifecta there is going to talk with us about the importance of security in regards to identity theft, protecting yourself, and making sure that your assets are well protected. So that show, being recorded later today, will be out hopefully tomorrow if all goes well. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to Community Connections on novanow.tv. I am your host, Sam Otero, and as I say every show to you, peace, and I am out.
What a thrill it was to be featured on Nova Now by Sam. His energy is just top notch and made it so easy breezy. I'd say it's a big deal to be featured, but he just made it so simple. And the content that is offered on Nova Now is super inspiring and something that's for everyone.
I think anyone who has the opportunity to go on Nova Now should definitely do it, and don't be afraid of it. Sam is fantastic at putting us at ease, at being so thoughtful and understanding and careful, and we just so appreciated working with him. What a wonderful addition he is to our community here in Northern Virginia.
And I would back that up as well. Sam, as they were saying, is just friendly, makes it comfortable. He's fun, engaging, very professional. We even learned some things on the backstage, which was kind of cool. But the premium membership, you guys definitely get the premium membership. This is kind of, I was thinking about this, it's kind of likened to self-publishing, like with our book. By having the premium membership and not selling to advertisers and things like that, Sam's able to keep this more about the local Nova Now, about the businesses, about the families, about the engagement, without having to rely on or work, with others out there that are advertising just for the sake of making money. But oh my gosh, to be able to be on this, you guys, if you're asked, you've got to jump. It gets your word out there. It's friendly, conversational with Sam, and I would encourage everybody to take advantage of this. And Sam, I am just so excited about what you're doing. This is big. This is going to grow big, and Northern Virginia is known worldwide, so people are going to be tuning in from around the world, and just what a difference you're making in so many lives. So thank you for doing that. We honor you.
Thank you.
Wow. I would say this was an unsolicited testimonial when it wasn't, because I asked them to say something nice, but I really wasn't